What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down what's happening with today as we have Jerome Powell giving another testimony, not to mention Joe Biden giving his State of the Union later on. I'm going to also talk about what's happening with earnings and what the news is saying about Tesla. But before I break into the devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, when it comes to Tesla, as you guys can see, we have this big downtrend that's been established for quite some time, and Tesla's continuing to slow down over and over and over again. Now, looking at Tesla, we're barely holding this 172 support, so we have to try to hold around this 170 to 172 zone, or else there could be an even bigger drop on Tesla. So I'm going to be watching this very carefully. But there are another couple of factors affecting the markets. I want to show you guys what they are and why the market's actually pumping, which is different from what I was thinking yesterday. Now, in my video from yesterday, I didn't do it the best of jobs of accounting for this, and I made a little mistake. So today we have the State of the Union. Joe Biden's giving a massive speech. It's going to be today at about 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This could affect the markets because, politics can get in the ways, and this sometimes could lead to either pumps or dumps in the markets. In this case, the markets may start pumping because of this. So this is a little bit ironic, and we haven't validated some sell signals from yesterday. So the market's showing some strength, and sometimes this could happen, guys. So I just wanted to tell you about that and also apologize for not really accounting that as much. I don't really like to talk about politics too much. But anyways, let's talk about the data now. We just had initial jobless claims come out just very close to expectations alongside continuing jobless claims. And we ended up seeing the balance of trade a little bit worse than expected, but everything else is okay. And the market is still pushing despite this data coming out. So it's still pushing off initial jobless claims and etc. SPY is in the green. We're seeing green throughout the markets. The market's still continuing to push. However, with Jerome Powell about to give a speech at 10 o'clock a.m. during his testimony in front of the Senate, he could say some things that may move the markets here and there. So we're going to be hearing from him again 30 minutes after the market opens. So we'll see how that affects the markets. But other than that, everything else is very minor. We have Mester giving a speech, some bill auctions at 11:30, and that is pretty much it for today. There's not a whole lot else coming out. But, but later on, we do have Joe Biden giving the State of the Union speech. Now, real quick for earnings, we had Kroger, not to mention Big Lots announcing their earnings. Kroger did very, very well. They actually beat on EPS and revenue. The full year 2023 earnings were quite good. We actually saw a slight increase of 11.4%. We saw a very, very big increase in their overall earnings before other expenses by about 105%. So very, very nice growth relative to 2022. And the net loss did come down quite a bit as well, which is great news for them. The overall outlook was aligned with expectations with good margins. So as a result, the share price for Kruger is just absolutely pushing. That's some good news for them. For Big Lots, on the other hand, they actually met on EPS and revenue just barely. We got a lot of adjustments to their EPS revisions, which are quite negative. And on top of this, the outlook was not as great. So with that being said, overall the share price is down a bit, not the strongest of earnings. For a couple of things, the market did come down a bit at the end of the day yesterday, but now it's trying to reverse. We have Jerome Powell speaking. Most of what he said yesterday, I think, has been kind of like set in stone with how the Fed is uncertain, but he did say mostly positive things about the economic outlooks, which led to the market pumping. So we could see something similar. We'll see what Jerome Powell has to say. There's some talk right here about the regional lender New York Community Bank Corp, which sold off, and they're basically announcing a $1 billion raise plan to help raise more money. There's been some talk about pharmaceutical changes. I'm not going to focus on that too much. And an AI engineer at Microsoft is issuing stark warnings about their image creators because of copyright infringement possibilities. So that's another thing that's making a lot of headlines. But that's it for the main headlines right now. As far as Tesla goes, there's still a lot of talk about the arson that took place near the Gigafactory plant, halting EV production, and they're saying that Tesla lost at least $100 million in revenue. Other sources are saying it's close to $1 billion, but they lost hundreds of millions nonetheless. Bad news for Tesla, still making the headlines. Morgan Stanley cut Tesla's price targets, warning that Tesla could be losing money very soon. Uh, Adam Jonas came out and he cut his price target from 345 to 320. And there's some talk about Elon Musk and this whole situation in the courts involving OpenAI. This is still going on. I'm not really seeing much changes from this quite yet, but we basically saw OpenAI respond yesterday, and they're still kind of talking this out. So not much has changed. We'll see what happens as time progresses. Anyways, what's happening to the markets? Let's break this down real quick. I'll start off with Tesla. Tesla's trying to push a little bit. We could try to push it a little bit as we open, as we fill this gap. If we could get back above 175, watch 176.5, then 177, then 188, 180, excuse me, above that. For support, watch 173.75, 172, and then 170. We have critical support right here around this 172 area. Need to see Tesla try to push past 175. If we do so, watch this gap get filled for a little push upon open. Then we might come down intraday thanks to Powell or something like that before we try to continue higher. I'm hoping that Tesla tries to get a bounce very close to this area and tries to base at 172. Now, overall, Tesla's on a slight downtrend. It's not the strongest, but there could be an attempt to kind of push a little bit, then come back down and just consolidate a bit. So watch for that very, very carefully. So look for a little pop on Tesla, then a drop, and some sideways price action. SPY, on the other hand, is showing some strength. Is trying to approach this all-time high, breaking past 512.5. Watch support at 512.5. Not to mention support right here at this yellow trend line at 5. We have 512 and 510.75 around here, depending on the timing, and 510 below that. Resistance watch 513, and we have 514 above that, 515 followed by 5. I think we'll get closer to 516.5. So I'm going to keep this very tight, but we could easily push to much higher levels if we do break 514. That's when we open up the doors for like 518, 520 levels like that. But I do believe SPY has a lot more uh, potential to push to these higher levels. I'll talk about how I calculated those in a later video, but for now, I do see potential for SPY to push higher. Now, when Jerome Powell starts his testimony, it could come down just a little bit. It is still possible, but ultimately, I do see it trying to push higher. We look pretty strong right now, and this could actually help Tesla push a bit. Now, why is it pumping? Well, don't forget Joe Biden's giving his State of the Union address today, and the market's preferring to pump because of that. Politics is getting in the way. For the QQQ, watch support at 442 and then 440, also where this yellow trend line happens to be. Watch resistance at 443.5, followed by 444. 444, excuse me. We have 446 above that, very close to that area. So I think the QQQ is going to try to push to fill this gap. We might come down just a bit during Biden's testimony, then just continue to push, but the market's looking bullish for the time being. Nvidia is going to likely help the market because Nvidia is also trying to push. You could see it's trying to fight 905. It actually got above 900, stronger than expected from yesterday. If that breaks, watch 908, 912, 915, and then 920. Watch 900 as support. Then we have 894 to 892 as support below that, then 885. Overall, we're consolidating around this 900 area. I'm hoping we hold here, excuse me, and we could break out even higher towards 912 plus very soon. Then we finally have Aapl. Aapl, in my opinion, is looking pretty decent. Aapl has come down all the way down to about 167. Now it's trying to rebound towards 170. If we could break this, watch 170.9, then 172. And then watch support at 169 and 168. I think it might come down just a little bit, then try to continue to push to 170. If this breaks, 170.9 is coming, followed by 172. So that being said, there is potential for this to push a little higher, but watch this 170 area for consolidation, and then we'll see how it goes after that. But with that being said, guys, the market's going to open in just about 5 minutes. I have to end the video from here. Thank you for listening. There is some potential for Tesla to push here if we could try to break past 175. That's going to be a very important resistance, and it's showing a little bit of life. The market might try to help this thing drag up just a little bit, so watch and see. We might fill this gap, come back down, and try to continue pushing a little bit later, but we need to see Tesla hold above 175, so watch that as critical resistance. All right, have a great day, guys. Do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys soon on the next one. Thank you, and peace out.